What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content daily. We also stream over on Twitch at This Is Aftersound, so come by and say hello. All right. I was listening in on the Splinterlands HQ live stream last night. Shout out to those guys. They put out some awesome content, Gank and Walking Keys. And they said something, or I should specifically say, Gank said something that caught my attention and made me want to dig a little bit further. And that was not to focus on Riftwatchers. Everybody's getting hyped on Riftwatchers, and focus on Chaos Legion, because that is where like the majority of like the dominance will be, right? So focus on leveling up your Chaos Legion deck, even though Riftwatchers is going to be scarcer in terms of the overall cards that'll be in circulation. He was making the argument that Chaos Legion still contains the better cards when you look at how Untamed and Dice were. So I wanted to dig into Dice and actually see which of these cards, if any, were dominant. And there are a couple, but that's the thing. It ends right there in just a couple. Now, I'd say there's probably 2.5 cards in here that I run into consistently that give me a lot of problems. And the top one isn't even a legendary. Mylar was dominant across bronze, silver, and maybe even parts of gold for a long time before Chaos Legion came out. The other one that I would say is Crawlus. And Crawlus is a legendary life monster that gets heal at level 2, and so in silver, and then at level 3, not much better in level 3, but you do get strengthen. So the thing is, I was looking at this, and now I kind of have to agree that a lot of the other monsters here I don't run into as often, right? And now that could be due to the case that the legendaries here are meh at best. So each splinter has minus dragon. Each splinter has a 12 or 11 mana. I guess Poseidon is only 9, but we'll just call it like a high mana monster. 4 out of the 5 of them are technically giants and susceptible to giant killer. And then each one also has a 1 mana monster that offers, some kind of other abilities. So, it's not necessarily the greatest selection. And I wonder if changes will be made for Riftwatchers or if they'll follow something similar to this. But I have to agree. And it actually made me think about this more. Now, there's 2 half ones, right? That are, or maybe even 3 at this point. The summoners for Dice, I would say, are decent. Now, not counting Kid Yuff and Vera, even though I think that they're actually pretty good considering, all things considered, at least Kid Yuff is one that I'm considering potentially buying just based on the price and how well he works with a lot of the fire monsters. Lorna Shine I've seen used in a lot of silver and gold battles to really go with that sneak attack deck. Bright and Bloom became popular just due to the Earthquake rule set, and can be decent. And then obviously Ouster Rotwell was one that allowed for a little bit of defense against magic spamming if you were playing a death deck. Now, these cards are not and will never be available in the starter deck, so therefore anybody who had them at the time, especially early on, you were at a huge advantage when fighting against anybody who was just using starter cards, which I was doing for the first 4 to 5 months that I was playing. Now, I'm not sure what the scene is like now in bronze and silver, just because I've been in gold and I own a decently leveled up Chaos Legion gold deck. But it is a lot easier to get into the game now, right? Like at the time, let me put it this way. I could have bought the cards if I wanted to, but everything was at such a premium, and I had made the conscious choice or deliberate choice, I should say, to buy only Chaos Legion and start leveling up from there. But, for those that were buying these cards, I'm sure that they were dominant in some form or another. But still, it's not like Ouster or Bright and Bloom or Lorna Shine on their own could win you a ton of games the way that Mylar could, right? And you can see this literally in the price. Like Mylar's almost double, even more than double the rest of these. Obviously, Lorna Shine, I think, has found a home with the sneak attack, and that deck is just so powerful regardless, and could probably be played with the beta summoner. Who's that? Tyrus Palladium, I've seen that as well, right? Or even Peak Rider. So Lorna, while great, wasn't necessarily necessary. Is that right? Necessarily necessary. Wasn't necessary. I don't even know why I had that extra word in there. So I guess that's what the point that I'm trying to make. And then the epics. Oh, let's go back to dice. The epics for dice. Let's take the summoners off. Nothing like really right home about. I think Lunakari Mistress is probably the best one out of the group, especially if you're trying to do some kind of life magic spam, which, hey, I've had fun doing life magic spams in the past. So, it's one of those things where after taking a look at it, I agree with Splinterlands HQ. I agree with Gank. Like right now, and here's the thing, Riftwatchers is down the road. We don't even have a release date for that yet. So before you start saving up a bunch for Riftwatchers, I would highly consider investing in Chaos Legion, really maxing out as far as you'd like to go in terms of the league that you want to play, right? So obviously for me, my long-term goal is to try and get a fully maxed out Chaos Legion deck. I don't even have a maxed out gold deck, so I'm still a while away from that, but that's something that I am trying to shoot for so that I can be competitive, hopefully at the higher levels of modern format, especially when modern format turns once we get Rebellion in the next 2 years, maybe or so, whenever Rebellion ends up coming out. So again, the caveat for this is that Riftwatchers could be completely different in design and offer a bunch of different types of monsters and summoners and all these things that could, you never know, be broken, and maybe saving for Riftwatchers will be the right thing to do in the long run. But I don't know. At this point, with the date, the kind of like moving or floating date that we have for Riftwatchers, and based on what we're looking at here, if there's a similar format followed for Riftwatchers, I think Gank is definitely onto something, and I wouldn't really pay much attention or. Here's the thing. What can you do for Riftwatchers right now? Well, you can stack SPS and you can stack vouchers. I'm never going to say it's bad to stack SPS. So I guess in a way, like, you can't really lose out if you do that. For me, I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I'm just continuing to sell vouchers at this point. But vouchers are like at $1 or even less than $1 sometimes. So if you're getting deals and you think that that's a good price for you, more power to you. Don't take my word for it. Trust me, because I don't know. I try to actually be very public with my losses so that people know that I'm not some type of expert. I just like to talk about this game a lot. So the thing is, that's my main point with all of this right now. With there being a large, I don't even call it delay, but just like with an unconfirmed date on when Riftwatchers is coming, and Chaos Legion packs continuing to kind of bleed out at a very slow pace. But we know that the prices are going to continue to drop, or they're actually pretty low right now. It's not a bad time to just keep on focusing on Chaos Legion. Riftwatchers will come. Don't worry. Riftwatchers will be here at some point, and we will enjoy it. And when we start getting those things, or before, or maybe, it's hard for me to even advise you not to prepare for Riftwatchers, because that's not what the rest of the group is doing. So maybe that is the best counterplay to have. But, at this point in time, I still think that Chaos Legion and what we've seen from Chaos Legion in terms of the dominance of some of these monsters is awesome. So I really think that if you just focus here, you'll be great in the long run. Even if Riftwatchers ends up being awesome, there's still plenty of time to get into that. So my focus will remain on Chaos Legion as it has for the most part. But even still, for you, like I tell you guys, I have been just stacking SPS by the boatloads as much as I can. So I'm not even buying cards right now because I expect Chaos Legion to continue to go down over time, and especially around the end of the airdrop. But I am dabbling here and there, buying cards, putting some bids, doing all that fun stuff. So, at some point, my goal is by the end of this year, or maybe by the time Riftwatchers comes out, to have a maxed out Chaos Legion deck. It's going to be tough just because I have to literally spend more than double of what I have spent right now. But, that's just the way it is if you want to be playing at the top level. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video. Best of luck in everything, in your plans. I really hope whatever it is you're trying to do, you succeed in an awesome way. But I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.